Looking back downstream toward the bridge, you can see these timbers right here recently deposited by the flood as well. Floodwaters were flowing up here all the way into this area behind me. We're 30 to 35 feet above the water below, above the rushing waters of Hellroaring Creek here in northern Yellowstone. And indeed, we had some significant water flow through here just over a month ago during those floods. And that water flow is what deposited these big logs. All right, friends, but welcome back to Park Junkie. Todd C here today at the Hellroaring Creek trailhead. That's right. We're going to head down here, lose some elevation, get down to the Hellroaring Creek suspension bridge. We're going to cross that cool bridge, head over to the north side of the Yellowstone River, and hopefully hit the banks of the river for a little siesta down there after a nice leisurely hike to the bottom. Then a little bit of a strenuous climb back out, but it shouldn't be too bad today at all. So without further ado, let's hit the trail here. It's a nice Friday afternoon. Let's get on the trail. Let's go. All right, well, we're looking at something fairly mellow today. It was a pretty late morning and I felt like getting out and doing something today, but didn't want to go for anything too big. I didn't want to end up on a peak during a lightning storm again. So I decided just to come up here and check out this northern section of the park. Now, we're not far from the park boundary here on the Hellroaring Trail. The Custer Gallatin National Forest, just north of the park boundary, out this way past these mountains right here. We're going to get down in here to the Yellowstone River today, though, and it should be pretty cool. I think there's like a canyon down here that we end up hiking along there on the Yellowstone River Trail, which runs all the way out to Gardner and that north entrance up out of Mammoth Hot Springs there. But today we're not going that far. We're just going to go down here, take a stroll down to the river. I'd like to get down there. The suspension bridge, it's only 1 mile from the Hellroaring trailhead up here, so shouldn't be too bad today. It's a nice leisurely afternoon, and Park Junkie's just going to have a leisurely stroll on a trail today. Maybe get back up to the parking lot after a while and head to find something else to do for sunset. But just a mellow day. Let's go see what the trail has for us out here on another brilliant Yellowstone afternoon. All right, there are the first views of the Yellowstone River as we drop down in here over Hellroaring Creek. Oh boy. All right, thus far the trail pretty mellow, just a descent down into the Yellowstone River, the valley down here that just gets right down into the riverbanks here. Foliage not too thick. You have a good peripheral vision all the way around here thus far to determine whether our four-legged friends with the big claws are coming. And you seem to have a pretty good field of view around here to determine what is coming. Not a lot of dense vegetation yet. You are in trees, but they're fairly well spread out as we move down in here. And from the looks of it, it looks like most of the surrounding territory is a lot like that as well. So we have the spray ready. We're heading out into the wilderness. Not too far though. Just a little teaser trip today. All right, here we're coming upon a junction. Suspension bridge is 0.2. Hellroaring trailhead back that way. Tower Junction, 3.4 miles out this way. Hellroaring Creek, 1.2 away. So we're headed on up toward the suspension bridge and out to Hellroaring Creek. All right, and right here we have the Hellroaring suspension bridge. We're gonna come into sight here in just a moment. This looks like we have a pretty good canyon down here over which we'll cross. All right, friends, well, I tell you what, this suspension bridge, pretty sturdy. This doesn't look to be anywhere near as exciting as some of the suspension bridges I've crossed in Mount Rainier and some of those northwestern parks where you got those huge chasms and the bridge like goes up and down and all over. This thing looks pretty stable. It's not going to be that exciting to cross this suspension bridge, but we're going to go on to the other side and continue on down toward the river. Let's go. All right, well, as I said, not the most exciting suspension bridge when it comes to the actual excitement of crossing a suspension bridge. Those true suspension bridges that are all like, those are my faves. It's like a amusement park ride when you're in there. I just love that. It's a lot more fun, you know. This thing, this is like the Brooklyn Bridge or something. We'll come up on this junction here as I get down toward Hellroaring Creek. If I continue straight out this way, I get to the Hellroaring Creek ford where we have to ford the river. Up this way, 1.8 miles is a suspension bridge, or excuse me, a bridge. I don't know that it's a suspension bridge. It just says Hellroaring Creek Bridge. It's 1.8 miles upstream. Across that, there's a cabin up there, like a patrol cabin, a ranger patrol cabin. Don't know if it's staffed or not. But then you can come back down the river and ford the creek here to make a loop out of that. This trail goes back toward the Yellowstone River. I think we're gonna take that trail, just try to get down and wet our feet in the river and then come back. I just want to see the Yellowstone River as an option to get down to the river, so that's pretty cool. We'll take advantage of that. Then we'll come back, and I think what I'll do at that point is I'll try to ford this creek going across, then hike up to the suspension or to the bridge, the Hellroaring Creek Bridge, and back down so that I don't have to get over here to this ford and realize I can't do it late in the evening. If I can't do it, I want to know it earlier rather than later. So I'm going to go out that way, and if I can't do it, then I can come back and head up Hellroaring Creek because I want to see what is up in this region up here. That, my friends, Hellroaring Creek, and it looks to be pretty interesting up there. It looks like on the map it gets pretty tight up in there. Could be really cool. Just making my way along the creek here, Hellroaring Creek, looking out to the south. Bike's parked right up in there, so Not very far. That hillside there is just around that is Tower. Yeah, this confluence right down below me here. This looks like a bunch of rushing water. This looks exciting. There it is, right through the trees. That's it right there. You can see the confluence of Hellroaring Creek and the Yellowstone River. This is a cool camp right here. You got these rocks up above you. This entire sand beach down here. Yeah, Yellowstone River right in front of you. Oh man, what a dream. Whoop. Yeah, that was certainly wise to come out here. Look at this place. Black sand beaches, beautiful green water flowing through a mountain canyon high atop a super volcano. It's only been 640,000 years since she last erupted. How many more? Oh man, just look at that. Yellowstone River, Hellroaring Creek right here coming in. This is awesome. Did I tell you this could be a cool campsite? Yeah, when I first came in, I thought somebody built a little log wall down here. Looks like that was all Mother Nature. Yeah, what a spot down here. If I'm camping up here in northern Yellowstone, I want to put in 4 or 5 miles in, 4 or 5 miles out, pretty easy. I want to cruise right here. This is nice living down here on the banks of the Yellowstone River. Yeah, that's good living. All right, well, as nice as this little spot is here at the confluence of the Hellroaring Creek and Yellowstone River, we're gonna have to get going because we got a ways to go if we're gonna make it up to the Hellroaring Creek Ranger Station and the bridge to cross back over and make our way back down on the south side of Hellroaring Creek. Cool little spot though, man. This beach down here, weird sand along in the water right here, weird sand. I was just kind of sinking into it as I walked out there, and I'm like, man, this would be an epic place to take a swim. So the water is so refreshing right now. What a cool river this is coming down through northern Yellowstone here. The Yellowstone River carving its way through this canyon. A masterpiece of nature right here inside the north boundary of the park. This time we're gonna start hiking back up Hellroaring Creek in search of a crossing. Warm out today, I tell you that. That little dip back there in the Yellowstone River, quite refreshing. Quite refreshing. No doubt about that. That was an absolute delight. I love to just dunk myself in rivers. I don't know, pretty much any river I go to or any body of water, I try to at least dunk my head in it, especially if it's a hot day and it's nice and refreshing. I really don't care if it's mild weather. But when it's hot, there's nothing like just soaking your head in a river. Yeah, beauty of the great outdoors. Yeah, here you have the remnants from the flood. You can see floodwaters way up here. So cruising out through here, there's a lot of these rocks off in the distance, and it's easy to think that one of them's a bear. You know, it's kind of like, is that a bear out there? Because you see him from far away. It's like, what should I do? Well, it's not moving. Bears might not move. Well, rocks don't move either. It's probably a rock. Yeah. Deductions of a madman on the trail. Just trying to stay alive. So gang, we've reached the ford section here of the trail. A little trail just drops in, brings us to this point in the river. Across we ford, and then we can go up on the north side of Hellroaring Creek back to the east. Back in here, we'll reach a bridge. We'll cross that, come back down this side of Hellroaring Creek and out. But it looks like we're gonna have to take the shoes off and just stroll right across this. This is pretty mellow water up in here. You can see it's not too bad out here. The flow is really minimal for this time of year, I think, at this point. All right, this is never fun, but we got to do it. We got to get across this thing. Here we go, barefooted, like the mountain men. Ouch. We'll get into more serious terrain out here in a second. Yeah, we're gonna go about knee deep right here, it appears. Nice smooth rock there for the feet. Oh yeah. Just slow steps out in here could sometimes be your best friend. Barefooted anyway. And get a nice spot. Make sure you don't come down on something terribly uncomfortable so you fall. That sucks. Don't want to go for that. Lean in here, put a hand on that. We're about almost a quarter of the way now. Whew, man, I gotta tell you, going barefoot across here is kind of like acupuncture for the feet. Yeah, definitely. Definitely get a lot of little pokes and punches in the bottom of the feet. If you're not used to going barefooted a lot, this might not be the best move, crossing this and barefooted anyway. And I don't really do much barefooted in life anymore. Haven't really lived on the beach for a while. And so you gotta kind of pick your way across slowly. Man, ouch, that starts to hurt the feet, I tell you what. But we're gonna make it. Rocks get a little slippery over here close to the edge. I'm gonna reach out and put a hand down. Another hand. Oh, ouch. Poor feet. Poor feet take a beating in this world. Expect a lot out of the feet when you're park junkie. So after the creek crossing here, I've decided to put another item in the bag for my future trips here in Yellowstone. Just throw a pair of chacos in there. And that way, when I have to do this kind of thing, it doesn't beat the hell out of the bottom of the feet, because ouch. The reason you're not seeing this from the other side is because I don't want to go do it again. It hurt. And I didn't have a camera set up. And if I have a camera set up, well, then I got to do it twice. You know what I'm saying? So, no scenery of that. Ouch. Chaco's going in the bag from now on. Look at that piece. That's magical. Look at that. That is an impressive rack. Now, I've seen a few impressive racks, and let me tell you what, this is right up there at the top. Wow, what a set. Can you imagine that on your fucking head? Wow, dude. Park junkie! So as we move back in Hellroaring Creek here, one side down here, the south side, all this grassy sort of knoll over here with trees scattered throughout. And back on the north side, a lot of volcanic rock going up onto what becomes Hellroaring Mountain back here behind us. I don't think that's it right there. I think the mountain peak's probably on a little bit back to the north. We can't see it just yet, but we might get a glimpse of it up here in the canyon. Hard to say at this point. Here, right here, the trail veers back down toward Hellroaring Creek, and we're going to continue creekside for a ways, it looks like, as we move to the east here in search of that ranger station, which is about 1.8 miles out here from what I read on the map. So we're going to continue moving. Beautiful. We got this rock beside us here, this volcanic layer. Then the trees right here with the trail running through it right beside Hellroaring Creek itself. It's a tranquil scene up in here. Not a lot of folks. I mean, I passed a couple of backpackers who were heading in the other direction back there. They were headed out toward the Yellowstone River Trail, and they were going to camp out there and then come back out tomorrow back to Hellroaring Trailhead. Other than that, I passed a couple of day hikers and a family of 5, so a total of 9 people. And oh, well, here's the cabin right here. We're already up here. That seems surprising. It's right there. That's not that far. I was thinking the cabin would be a bit further on up the stream, but apparently I've either moved further than I thought, or the cabin's just a ways down. It's funny, they got a solar panel here that's completely in the shade, and it looks like it usually is, but who knows? Government installation, I guess. All right, we're coming up here on the Hellroaring Ranger Station. Pretty cool. We'll see if anybody's here. Looks like it's kind of quiet out here. However, there is firewood stacked. Place obviously gets some sort of traffic, but it looks like it's pretty well locked down. Yeah, we got firewood here. Nice little cabin. They got a big rack up there on the cabin itself right here. So, wow, that's a nice shed right there. Plenty of firewood stacked up, but it doesn't appear there's anyone at home here at the ranger station down on Hellroaring. Looks like it's been a while since this one's been staffed, though. There's not anything in sight, no persons. A sign on the door warning that the building should not be molested. Looks like it's been there for a while as well. Yeah, some of those folks that come out here in the wilderness and they molest buildings. I know, right? All right. Hellroaring campsites, Hellroaring Stockbridge, Hellroaring Trailhead. See what's going on over here. That Stockbridge may be damaged. On the map it doesn't say Stockbridge, but it looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, that thing's fine. Currently closed to equestrian stock, open for hikers and llamas. Yikes. Violation can result in a $5,000 fine and or 6 months in jail. They throw the book at you. This is a cool bridge. Look at this, huh? Oh man, what a dream. Wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. All right, gang, one of the main tributaries for the Yellowstone River here in this section of the park is Hellroaring Creek. Now, with those recent floods, we had extreme water levels in the river, and you can see how extreme they were here in Hellroaring Creek. The flood lines came all the way up into this direction right here. You can see right here the line coming behind me where the floodwaters reached this point, left the debris here. As you see, all of this debris that's been deposited right here was deposited this far above the raging waters below. Man, all these logs that just jammed up in here, that's a good 20 to 25 feet above the water down here. This water was raging through here. It cut back the bank over here. This was a raging monsoon during those days, and that's a hell of a lot of debris, and that's way up here on the banks. Well, this is a pretty cool zone right here by this bridge. A few rocks you can chill out on, a good lunch spot out here. It's gonna make a nice loop hike. Come out, chill here for a bit, go down to the banks of the Yellowstone. That's cool too. Makes this a cool destination out here for a day hike, just a little loop. Yeah, these are gorgeous little forests down through here, running along Hellroaring Creek, just under Hellroaring Mountain back here in the northern section of the park. Spectacular area. This is vacant land back in here as far as humans are concerned. I haven't seen anyone. A few footprints here and there, but this area receives little travel for humankind. Trails somehow in pretty good shape down through here. A lot of old forest here. It's been down for some time. But as you can see, gorgeous terrain for just a stroll in the park. Today, just a little short run, something cool. I don't know, it won't be that short in the end. I guess we'll end up putting in, I don't know, probably I'd assume like 8 miles, 10 miles maybe, something like that. But fairly mellow terrain today. Our worst part's just gonna be coming right now, the ascent. I'd say the creek crossing barefooted was probably the worst part of the day. Sorry you didn't get to witness too much of the grimace on my face there. That was a real pain in the ass though. Acupuncture for the feet. Yeah, not one of those scary suspension bridges, but it does have a hell of a view. And look at that, Yellowstone River raging on. Oh yeah, that is looking out on our terrain from today. We went down across the suspension bridge over the Yellowstone River, over that little peninsula there to Hellroaring Creek, and then down the creek to the confluence with the Yellowstone River, then back up, forded Hellroaring Creek, up the canyon to the ranger station, and on up to the footbridge over Hellroaring Creek under the eye of Hellroaring Mountain right there. And then we came back out, back over to the suspension bridge where we crossed for sunset, and now we're cruising on. Only a little further to go. The evening sun going down, and we're headed back to the bike, just like that. Just a dream back there. Yellowstone River. Gorgeous as always, gorgeous as always. We're gonna head on out now. Get back up here, swat some mosquitoes, throw our riding gear on, and head southbound. Thanks for tuning in today. Another adventure out here in the park. Sorry it wasn't that exciting, but it's pretty cool. I told you it was gonna be a mellow day in preparation for something here in the next few days. I don't know. Just felt like a stroll today out here somewhere in Yellowstone. Kind of left the place this morning without a real plan. I had been looking at several trails, just came over to this one and headed down into Hellroaring Canyon for an excellent day on the trail. Just something mellow today. Told you it was gonna be a mellow day. Whew. Really like that. I've been needing that. Cool, well, I'm gonna check out, get back on the bike up here, head southbound back to the Park Junkie map room, where I'll fix myself some dinner and enjoy the good life. Ah, the great indoors. All right, my friends, well, thanks for joining us here on Park Junkie. Remember, if you're planning a trip to Yellowstone or any other parks, check out parkjunkie.com. Until next time, I'll see you on down the trail, my friends. Cheers.